Hi, and welcome back, everyone out there. I am your host, Milady Confetti, and I wanted to clarify something from the last episode. I see that there is some confusion with how to define a magical girl. Even though I laid it out in the video, which is okay, there is a list of characteristics that defines a magical girl anime and/or character archetype. From my last episode of the Nerdy Magical Girl podcast, I saw some comments, mostly on TikTok, giving examples of girls who use magic versus characters that are magical girls. There is a difference. While I am not in the business of yucking anybody's yum, I just want to equip you with the knowledge and information, and you can do whatever you want with it. So the following characteristics define a magical girl or magical girl anime. A transformation sequence of some kind, must possess magical abilities which the character usually, but not always, can only be used via an alter ego. Typically, the protagonist is a young girl. The magical girl anime series can be targeted at any demographic and usually has to solve some type of problem or is linked to some destiny or mission. So the example I saw mostly in my comments was Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender. She does check some of the boxes of being a magical girl, but she does fall short of having a transformation sequence, and she also doesn't have an alter ego. This is where it gets confusing because not all magical girls have an alter ego. Like Ako Kagari from Little Witch Academia, she does not have an alter ego. She is a witch that can use magic to shift her form, like, when she accidentally turns herself into an elephant or anything like that. But that transformation is not like a requirement for her to use her magic or for her to carry out and solve the problems or follow the destiny that has been instilled on her. Does that make sense? Katara's framework when it comes to considering her a magical girl versus a girl with just abilities or magic, like, it just gets a little shaky for me. But again, I'm not gonna yuck your yum. If you think Katara is a magical girl, you go on, you like it, I love it. Here are some characters that I would consider magical girls that fall more within the framework of a magical girl, but are not a part of magical girl anime or series. So there's Asuna Yuki from Sword Art Online. So a lot of her things kind of blend together for me, so I'm gonna try and keep it straight to explain it all for you. Her transformation sequence is going from Asuna in the real world to Asuna, the character she created in Sword Art Online or whatever season you're watching, whatever world they're in. Now, normally for all the non-gamers out there, which was a very true statement that was made in the anime, people don't usually use their real names in like MMOs or like video games. Like, people typically use like an alternative name or like a made-up name, a cooler name. Like unless your name is like, I don't know, Beyonce, like, I'm not gonna use my real name going into a video game, but that's what Asuna chose to do. So yes, there is an Asuna in the real world and then there's Asuna in the video game. Her powers are limited obviously to the video game. So whether that's her being a sword woman or her being a fairy, whatever, using magic, it is limited to the game. Asuna is a young girl. Sword Art Online is aimed at a male demographic, but I believe it's considered just a shonen. I did not know Sword Art Online was self-published. I did not know that. I learned that today. And as far as a destiny or solving some type of mission or solving a problem, Asuna has a lot of problems in her personal life. And I'm glad that throughout the series of Sword Art Online, whether from season 1 all the way to the end, that those problems do seem to get resolved. This is not going to turn into a Sword Art Online rant, but I will say this: Sinon is a better character than any of the women in Sword Art Online. Argue with your mama. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And then there's Noelle Silva from Black Clover. While Noelle always has access to her magic, one way that she has better control of that magic and also that her magic gets a big boost is using her Valkyrie armor. And her Valkyrie form has 2 different forms. It's her armor form and the mermaid form. Once she gains the Valkyrie armor and or her mermaid form, you see her use it more often in order to, one, get that boost and also maintain control of her powers. So I interpret that as like a transformation sequence. And when she first got her Valkyrie armor, there wasn't a dry eye in the room because that girl earned it, okay? Black Clover is a shonen, and Noelle's journey, her personal growth and her mission in trying to uncover the mysteries surrounding her mother and her family is very well done. Again, I really argue that she is one of the strongest written women in anime right now. One of, not the only, but just one of, for all you absolutists out there. She's just one of. And the last big example that I have is Mira Jane from Fairy Tail. A transformation sequence would be her takeover magic. She has different demonic forms depending on the situation that she's in and what the fight requires at the time. She can also use basic transformation magic too, not just her takeover magic. And yes, she has other forms of magic, but we're not talking about that right now. Her magic depends on her form that she has at the times. Like one of her takeover forms actually can focus more on speed and is faster than the other forms. So kind of like the idea of shifting forms is very much derived in Cutie Honey. Mira Jane is a young girl. Fairy Tail is a shonen, and Mira Jane's story and personal mission very much revolves around grief and how to overcome it. Now that was a lot of yapping, so let's do like a rapid fire round of like if I consider this person a magical girl or not. Okay, so Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender, no. Layla/Aisha from Winx Club, yes, she is a magical girl. So colorism is really ugly. Please stop making dark-skinned characters lighter over time because you don't want to see dark-skinned characters exist, especially dark-skinned Black women. Thank you. Sypha from Castlevania, no. She is a girl that just uses magic. Aelita from Code Lyoko, yes, she would be considered a magical girl. Frieren, no, she is a girl that uses magic. She's literally a mage. Also, Frieren is old. She just looks young. So shut up. Nezuko Kamado. I would say no. Especially considering how Demon Slayer ends. I'm gonna say no. On Takamaki from Persona 5. Yes, she is considered a magical girl. To me. And yes, it's a video game, I don't care. Chise Hatori, I'm going to say yes. I would say like the way that she transforms is more so over time, because this poor girl can't like live without having like 6 curses in her body. Like her body is drastically different from like episode 1, season 1 to the end of season 2. And also her voice actress, Danny Chambers, said that she's a magical girl, and you can't argue anything Danny says because Danny's always right. But let me know, does that make sense? I know it's easier to keep like the definition of what a magical girl is to magical girl series, but like I feel like, especially with like expanding the genre and understanding what a magical girl is and maybe even the future of magical girls, I really feel like being inclusive of magical girls that are not just in specific magical girl anime can also add like more fans to the subgenre. That's what I feel like, because there's so many things that are happening within the genre that makes it so transformative that, I don't know, maybe I'm reaching, but regardless, there are criteria that do make a magical girl. And if you don't make it, you get cut. I'm not in the business of yucking anybody's yum. So if you want to believe Katara is a magical girl, baby, you like it, I love it. But comment below, who is your favorite magical girl? And also, who is your favorite magical girl knowing the criteria that is from a non-magical girl anime? Comment that below, and I'll see you very soon.